Sid.
Okay, it's go time.
It's go time.
Sid Rosenberg.
Oh my God, Sid.
These weirdos all gotta have a name now.
You're listening to
Repeat sound. Let's do this.
Okay, well tell me. Break it down. Break it down. Break it down. Break it down.
Rutabaga, Eisenhower, Roland Garden. Get over here. It's a Sid Rosenberg show on 640 Sports.
The 0-1. Swung on and hit in the air to deep left center. It is high. It is far. It is gone. A tremendous home run to left center by Alex Rodriguez. It's an A-bomb from A-Rod. He homers and the Yankees take a 4-2 lead.
And for Alex Rodriguez, homer number 20. And there was no doubt about that. Travis Snyder took 2 steps towards center field and turned around and watched it. Wow.
I thought he had a chance to be productive, but, you know, what he's done this year is obviously more than I expected just because of the time off, the hip surgeries, and it's been really important to our club.
The pitch struck him out swinging. Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
If you're struggling to score runs early, you're going to get a couple guys on and someone's going to pop one. That's kind of how it feels. And, you know, we did it today. We got a couple home runs, and we scored 3 of our 4 runs that way. And it was a game that only 1 run did not come via the home run. And that's kind of what you expect from these 2 clubs.
Swing and a line drive. Fair ball. Base hit down the left field line. Taylor around third. He's coming in to score. Espinosa into second standing. It gives the Nationals the lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Poor timing for a bad day on my part. These guys did everything they were supposed to, and you know, I just didn't do my part. It's you know, totally on me. Gotta get ready for tomorrow.
Storing kicks. Here's the pitch. Half swing on the appeal. Yes! Strike 3 on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Bang! Zoom! A Curly W's in the books. Drew Storen strikes out the side of the 9th inning.
Well, that's all on me. That's not on Bobby. You know, he's been throwing the ball great. You know, the ball in the dirt was the only thing that you know, was a big mistake. Well, it wasn't a mistake, but we just didn't keep the ball in front, and those 2 guys got in scoring position. But that's on me. I could have let Jarius get looser. I could have delayed the game a little bit, let him get loose. But that's not Bobby.
I care that this SOB killed 4 of our United States Marines, and I care that our commander-in-chief is more concerned with Muslim sensitivity than the honor and sacrifice made by these Marines. Now, this is the 21st time our military men and women have been attacked here at home. This is not a Middle East problem. This is an American problem, and I'm sorry, but I can't sit here and let this go. Not anymore. I come from a family of Marines. My grandpa was a World War II paratrooper. My uncle, a Vietnam Purple Heart recipient. My cousins, both Marine Corps officers. I have some very close Navy SEAL connections as well. In fact, someone very close to my heart is deployed to the Middle East right now. But the sad thing is, I was telling him last night, I think you're safer over there than you would be right here in the United States of America. I've had it with this failed strategy, this halfway, half-baked, tiptoe, be friendly to jihadis mentality pushed by this administration. Be a leader, someone. They, the radical Islamists, have brought the fight right here to the red, white, and blue, and it's about time we bring it to them, full force.
Right
Show them what
on!
the United States of America looks like up close and personal. Show them what a B-1 bomber looks like flying overhead. Show them what they're messing with. Put the fear of God in their desert, because clearly our lack of strategy isn't working.
22 years old, Tommy Lahren. She has a little television show in San Diego. It went viral. And she now joins us for the first time on national radio right here. Tommy Lahren, welcome to the Savage Nation. God bless you. What a piece you produced. How'd you do that?
Honestly, I'll tell you, it came from the heart, and I will stand by absolutely everything I said, because after the FBI press conference today, I think what I said rings even truer today than it did on Friday night.
What do you mean the FBI conference? Which one was that, Tommy?
Talking about Chattanooga, and that they're still not sure whether or not Abdulaziz was radicalized or not, and I said it in my thoughts. All signs point to that. Why will not anybody come out and call it what it is?
Yesterday we heard Lindsey Graham was in his crosshairs. Are you worried he might make you his next target?
Well, he might. He said immigration. He said things about me already before. Look, here's the bottom. Immigration is a legitimate issue.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big problem for the country. You have people that are committing crimes. They're deported. We allow them back in, and then we have cities that refuse to report them. Legitimate issue. We have a porous border, meaning not just the border with Mexico, but 40% of people in this country illegally are overstaying visas. Legitimate issue. Broken legal immigration issue. We're accepting people on the basis of who they know. They have a relative living here, not what they can contribute.
So you and Donald Trump are on the same page on all this.
But here's what's so important to me. The presidency of the United States is not just the top government official. It is the leader of our people and of our nation as well. It is important that we have to conduct the presidency has to be done in a dignified way with a level of class.
Do you believe Donald Trump can be that?
I don't think that the way he's behaved over the last few weeks is either dignified or worthy of the office that he seeks. We already have a president now that has no class. I mean, we have a president now that does selfie stick videos, that invites YouTube stars there, people that eat cereal out of a bathtub, that accuses his. You just saw the interview he did right now, where he goes on comedy shows to talk about something as serious as Iran. The list goes on and on. It is important for us to have a presidency that restores dignity and class to the White House, and I don't believe that some of the language that Mr. Trump is employing is worthy of the office.
Eric Erickson of Red State said based on your comments about Faith on Saturday, that it's, quote, largely closed the books on evangelical support. Do you
I don't
that?
think so, because I just saw polls in Iowa that I'm doing really well. I mean, in terms of Iowa, where it's a very big group of people, I'm doing really well.
The Quinnipiac poll in Iowa among general voters.
I don't know. You keep bringing up negative. You only want to talk about negative. Why don't you bring up the positive polls?
I did.
I mean, you start off. Excuse me.
Start off
you start off with the interview.
No, I started off with the Washington Post poll.
You started off the interview with a poll that I didn't even know existed.
I started off with the Washington Post poll intentionally, because I knew you would accuse me of that.
Sure. All I know is every poll I'm leading in, and you give me these two polls where it's different states. They're not even a national.
We'll check the record. I started off with the Washington Post poll where you are way out in front.
I think it's very unfair. You're talking about a poll I never even saw. It's not even a poll.
Okay.
It's on 3 different states, and you're hitting me with this.
Okay.
And I think it's frankly, I think it's a very fair question.
Okay.
I think it's an extremely. You start off the interview with that. You don't say, I've led in the Fox poll. I'm leading in the ABC Washington Post poll.
You're leading across the board.
Well, you did. I am leading across the board.
Right.
And then you hit me with this poll that I didn't even see before, where, oh, gee, it's not even that kind of a poll. All I know is I have a very big group of support. And I think one of the reasons is that, let me tell you, the people don't trust you, and the people don't trust the media.
Right.
And I understand
and politicians.
why. I've always been covered fairly accurately, because it was usually a financial press. And, numbers are numbers, okay? And my numbers happen to be great. So I was always sort of treated like fair. With the media, it's, in not all cases, some of the political media is great and really honest. Even if they don't want to be, they're really honest. But I find that 60–70% of the political media is really, really dishonest. And, I tell the story, the American dream. I talk about the American dream in speeches. The American dream is dead, but I'm going to make it bigger and better and stronger than ever before. The American dream is dead, but I'm going to make it bigger and better, stronger than ever, right? And I go, boom, and I do it with great bravado, and the audience goes crazy.
There's not a lot to say about the
You have no idea how apropos this song is now, do you? Don't go away. Say that you'll stay forever and a day. Donald Trump is a godsend. Give me some more of this. Don't go away. Oasis, early on a Thursday morning.
I can't find the words to say with all the things caught in my mind. I don't want to be there when you're calling down. I don't want to be there when you hit the ground. Just don't go away.
6:11 on your Thursday morning. Back here live in Pompano. Down to our last 2 days in Pompano Beach before we make the move, the official move to West Palm coming up on Monday. I should also have my announcement today where I will be on in New York coming up, not next week, but the week after next week. Specifically Tuesday, August the 4th, Wednesday, August the 5th. At least those 2 days doing shows up in New York. It's not WFAN. Please, for the 1,000th time, don't ask, don't tweet, don't Facebook. It's not WFAN. It's something else. And we'll get to that probably, if not later on today, then definitely by tomorrow. But we are back here after a couple of days off. How were you? How was your days off there? Okay?
Yeah, they were good. I was up in Palm Beach on Palm Beach Broadcasting on Tuesday morning.
Getting ready for us, huh? We got the biggest and nicest and brand new studio at that complex and all ready to rock and roll. First thing Monday morning, we'll be on 45th Street in Palm Beach, and they seem pretty excited, huh?
Yeah, everybody was, poking their face in and saying hi, and usual, everyone friendly up there. Lunch was ready and all that kind of stuff. Checking out the new studio.
Is there a sign there that says home of the Sid Rosenberg Show or 640 Sports?
I didn't see that. I saw 640 Sports.
Yeah, we got to take that down. Just got to put the Sid Rosenberg Show and start moving up all of my my memorabilia stuff here also, and the stories that are done on me that we framed and all that stuff, and just make it ours, because Hank is still going to be down at Gulfstream anyway when Harry doesn't care. So it's just basically the Sid Rosenberg studio, isn't it? Basically.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I hear it's gorgeous, so you tell me.
Yeah, it is. It's coming along nicely, and should be ready to roll on Monday morning.
All right. Well, we're excited about that. But again, so down to our last 2 days here. It all started here. August the 13th, which is about 2.5 weeks away, will be our 3-year anniversary here on 640 Sports. And it all started right here in Pompano Beach. And it's going to end right here tomorrow in Pompano Beach. What I'm going to miss between us, phone's ringing already. Her line 3. Is Emily out there, the lovely Emily Simbal? There she is. Is the Dunkin' Donuts, because there's a Dunkin' Donuts by us here by Sample Road, on Sample Road, I should say. It opens at 3:30 a.m. in the morning. So, for example, today I was already at Dunkin' Donuts at 4:38 a.m. I don't know actually, but I don't think there's anything like that up in Palm Beach. On Dunkin' Donuts, it opens before 5, at least close to 45th Street. Do we know that? Or
we don't know that.
If there's not, I can't come to work there. I have to have my extra large coffee. I can't work.
Could be a problem.
That's a huge. And then don't be making me Folgers in the back there. They've got a kitchen and they've got coffee makers and. If I have to, I'll use one of those Keurig things.
They've got a nice racetrack gas station.
I can't do that. That is, you want to talk about Guyam? Holy Christ!
What are you talking? They got nice
racetrack gas station.
It looks like they got a nice coffee area.
I wouldn't even put gas in my car from a racetrack gas station, let alone drink their coffee.
Well, Cracker Barrel may be open.
Well, that's a different story.
They're
across
the street.
Is that right?
Yeah, right across the street.
That could be a nice little breakfast destination once in a while after the show, maybe. Well, Rachel's is right there too, but. And they're still open till what? Till 5 or?
I don't know.
They probably close earlier in Palm Beach.
I don't know what kind of coffee they have.
Yeah. I mean, I don't ever go to Palm Beach. This is completely new for me. It's just ironic that both me and my daughter Ava are going to be on 45th Street coming up now because I start at PBB on Monday, and my little girl is going to Bach this fall. One of the great schools, not just in Florida, but all across the country. And both are on 45th Street. How crazy is that?
It's kismet.
It's what?
I think, isn't it?
Is that a curse?
I don't know. No.
What did you say there? What was that?
Kismet.
Kismet?
I think isn't that destiny or something?
I don't know.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, we got to get a lot of stories here to get to. Obviously, in the Open, the Yankees are red hot. They have now taken the first 3 of their 4-game set against the Orioles. And after noon till today at Yankee Stadium with a chance for the Yankees to take all 4 from Baltimore. The series started, don't forget, and the Orioles were just 3 back of the Yanks. They're now 6 back. The Yankees at this point have built up a 5.5 game lead on the second-place Toronto Blue Jays. That is amazing. I mean, they are starting to run away with the AL East. The Jays are 5.5 back, Tampa Bay 6 back, Baltimore 6 back, and the Red Sox, who were making a charge just a couple of weeks ago, they've now dropped 7 in a row. They're now 11 back of the Yanks. Tanaka on the mound today for the Yankees, and they did it again yesterday. Home run number 20 from Alex Rodriguez, home run number 24 from Mark Teixeira. And don't look now, but here come the Yanks. 11 games over 500 after 93 games and running away with the American League East. An amazing story emanating in the Bronx as we speak.
An amazing story.
Amazing story.
Very amazing.
And we've got every pitch, every game. John Sterling, Susan Waldman, right here on the South Florida home of New York Yankee baseball, 640 Sports. We got a lot of teams on this station now. We got the Yanks. We've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We've got assorted other NFL and college football games. And we've got the Florida Panthers this year, which is really exciting for me because I work with those guys. So the station is actually becoming a real station. Almost. We're not there yet. The Mets lost again to Washington. They dropped 2 out of 3. The Mets had an opportunity, if they had swept the Nationals, as I told you Monday, my last show here, that we could have come to work this morning and the Mets would have had sole possession of first place atop the NL East, but they lost 2 out of 3 to Washington. So the Mets are 3 back in second place inside the NL East, 2.5 back of the Cubs and the Pirates for the wild card. So the Mets lose yesterday 4-3. They had a 3-0 lead, and Bobby Parnell did what he does, and they blew the game. So it really sucks, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
But the good news is they'll play again real soon. So they start a 4-game set today, in fact, against the NL West leading Los Angeles Dodgers. So it's the Yankees and Orioles, the 4th and final game of that set in the Bronx this afternoon with Tanaka on the mound before the Yankees travel to Minnesota this weekend to take on the second place AL Central's Minnesota Twins. They've dropped 4 in a row, Minnesota. They're now 7 back of the Royals, who are also running away with that division. So it's the Yankees and Twins starting tomorrow, and the Mets and Dodgers, a 4-game set starting in Queens later on tonight. Cologne, Nice, Harvey, and DeGrom for the Mets the next 4 days against the Dodgers. Baseball getting exciting here. Football right around the corner, obviously. And then the rest of it is all Donald Trump. That's it. Although that chick, Tomi Lahren, is making a lot of noise. This is a girl, once again, who works at America One Network. Is that the name of that spot?
Yeah, I think that was the network.
Born in South Dakota, living in San Diego, and her little show went viral last week. We played it a couple of times on Monday. Your wife actually put it on my Facebook page on Tuesday and said, I heard this first on the Sid Rosenberg show, and you should be listening to hear stuff like this every single day. Alicia loves this show. Loves it.
Yes,
loves it.
Yes, she does.
Of course, she's a right-wing conservative nut job.
Just angry enough, to get right.
Angry American,
right
exactly.
in line with this.
So she loves Tomi Lahren, and she's been everywhere. The clip we played just now in the open, Tomi was on with Michael Savage yesterday. 2 nights ago, she was on television with Bill O'Reilly, and there's a rumor going around that tomorrow, Tomi Lahren right here with us.
Wow.
Oh, yes. Yes, late in the show, because you've got Chuck Todd tomorrow, so that would be quite a coup, having Chuck Todd and Tomi Lahren on the same day. But that is the rumor, close to about 9:45 Eastern Time, which, of course, would be 6:45 a.m. in San Diego, where she lives. Tomi Lahren coming up here tomorrow. Now, then, of course, you heard Marco Rubio. Rubio was great there on Fox and Friends with Brian Kilmeade and Liz Hasselbeck and the other guy, I forget his name, talking about how we already have a president that has no class, joking around about the Iran deal and mentioning Dick Cheney on Jon Stewart's show, taking selfies and hanging out with people who do YouTube videos who eat cereal out of a bathtub. And Marco Rubio really taking a shot at President Obama, said, we already have a president with no class. Why would you want to vote a guy like Donald Trump in? And he also has no class. So Rubio all over your guy, the Donald. That made you angry, didn't it?
No, everyone's going to take shots at Donald. That's all right.
Lindsey Graham is all over Donald today, too. All over Donald Trump today. And, of course, that goes back to Donald Trump giving out Lindsey Graham's telephone number a couple of days ago when we were off. And so the whole Republican Party, the whole GOP race, the other 15 guys, there were now 16 once John Kasich announced he was running 2 days ago with Sean Hannity at the Ohio State University. There were now 16 GOP candidates, and every one of them
really outside of maybe, I shouldn't say that, 2 or 3 guys like Ted Cruz can't stand Donald Trump. And why can't they stand him? Because they're afraid of him. I thought Bill O'Reilly did a really good job talking about the media, the rest of the GOP guys, but specifically the media. You know, you heard Donald Trump there going back and forth last night with Anderson Cooper on CNN. And Trump said, listen, nobody trusts you. They don't trust you, Anderson. They don't trust the media, especially when it comes to politics, because we know this. Political media is so biased. We know that, right? I mean, incredibly biased. If you're a liberal, you hate Donald Trump. If you're not, you may like him. But the truth is you're very predictable in your analysis because of where you stand. So Donald Trump really came down hard. It was actually kind of cool to hear on Anderson Cooper on CNN last night. And it goes back to whether you can or cannot trust the media. And most people feel like the media has it in for Donald Trump. At least, if not most people, certainly Bill O'Reilly.
The factor tip of the day, the media despising Donald Trump. And here's why. He has no fear. He could not care less about censoring himself, and the press does not intimidate him. So because of that approach, the media believe they must punish Mr. Trump for being disrespectful and not cowering before them. Plus, they don't like his politics, generally speaking. Press, a very powerful force in America, given special privilege by the Founding Fathers. And if the press deems someone unworthy, they will try to destroy that person. That's where Donald Trump finds himself today. Factor tip of the day. Unfortunately, the American media, although there are exceptions, are not looking out for you. They have an agenda, these people, and they often use that agenda in corrupt ways. You, as a media consumer, should walk away when you see that happen.
Donald Trump, I mean, I know you saw some sales girl up at Palm Beach Broadcasting a couple of days ago who I guess complained, or didn't complain, but was curious as to why, if this is a sports show, she tuned in wanting to hear sports and didn't get it and had to go to ESPN to listen to Mike and Mike. First of all, we're not a sports show. I've only been saying that for 10 years on 3 different stations. We're a talk show. It just so happens we end up on sports stations. We do a lot of sports. The majority of the show usually is sports, but once we cover the Yankees and the Mets in the Open, which we did, and we'll talk a little bit about Eli Manning today and Chad Johnson today and some other select NFL stories, there's no reason to talk sports other than you're on a sports station, because everybody in the world today, everywhere, is talking about Donald Trump. That's the story. No one's talking about sports except for sports stations that have to. So, for example, this girl you bumped into, what did she want to hear today? What did she want to hear us talking about? What would she deem? And she's a sports fan. She went to Mike and Mike on ESPN. She was surprised she wasn't hearing sports. What does she want to hear? Want me to break down the 32 NFL teams heading into training camp and what their strengths are and weaknesses and all that stuff? Because we can do that when training camps open. Does she want baseball? We give you plenty of baseball. Mark Feinsand covers the Yankees on a daily basis for the New York Daily News. He's on this show twice a week, including today. So she gets plenty of that. What's she looking for?
Well, she didn't say in particular. She just said
because she's a dope. That's why. She's a dope. She's a dope. Whoever she is, and I will tell that right to her face, and I will tell her that when I get to Palm Beach Broadcasting. You're a dope. Donald Trump is the only story in this country that everybody, sports fans, non-sports fans, want to talk about. Want to break down the quarterback situation at Alabama? What do you want me to do? Break down the Ty Lawson trade last week from the Denver Nuggets to the Houston Rockets? Try to figure out why the Dolphins this year are not going to go 8-8? What does this dopey broad want?
Well, I did hear yesterday Tony Kornheiser and Wilbon breaking down who will win the West in the NBA next year.
This is what I'm talking. This is exactly what I'm talking about.
Clippers.
So you need to tell this girl to just be quiet.
Spurs.
Just be quiet and get on with the rest
Golden
of the
State.
with the rest of the world. And we're talking about 2 people in particular: Tommy Lahren and Donald Trump, not sports, which we do anyway, and we will do today. Plenty of it. Oh, I can't wait to get up there and just rip all these people new assholes. I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait. First of all, if she's a sales girl, to be honest, and she's going to be selling this show, don't you think this douche should know exactly what she's selling? She's going out there selling a sports show, because if that's the case and it's not a quote-unquote talk show with sports involved, how's she going to sell this thing?
Well, I can't say for sure that she was a salesperson.
What the hell was she?
Well, she was someone working in the office. I don't know.
Get rid of her.
I don't know yet who.
I want to fire
everybody. But
I want her out.
You want her out?
I want her out. She sounds like a dope. She's already gotten under my on my bad side.
Well, there was people that don't like the show also.
Yeah, well, I don't care about them. I don't care who likes it or dislikes. It doesn't matter to me. I know what the masses want. I'm a lot smarter, believe it or not, than anybody in that building. Anybody, including Kevin for Vagina and Jackie, whatever the hell his name is.
KVJ.
Yeah, I don't need the approval or, by the way, disapproval of a couple of dopey salespeople up there. It doesn't matter to me. So now I got to find out who this girl is, which you are going to tell me.
I don't know her name.
You will point her out, and I'm going to walk up to her, and I'm going to make her cry. I'm going to make her cry. I'm telling you, she's going to cry. And may even run out and quit. I don't care.
Well, I don't think that would be a way to endear yourself.
I'm not looking to endear myself. I'm not looking to endear myself.
This is a family that's welcoming us.
Not my Manson family. We've been over this already. I'm not looking for family members. I'm not looking for friends. None of that stuff.
They had lunch for us.
Okay, I can take a free lunch. I'm all right with that.
They do the lunch as well.
See, there's a lot of pros, but more cons about going up there on Monday. I'm just telling you that right now. I already don't like half the people.
Well,
what?
Well, maybe they don't like you.
What do I care?
What'd you do to them?
I hope they don't like me.
No, I'm sure it'll be all one big happy. It was a very good experience.
I don't care. It doesn't matter to me.
The studio's beautiful.
That
I
like.
Equipment's nice.
That's good. Yeah. The bathroom works?
The bathroom does work.
That's good.
You have to bring a key.
That's annoying.
To get in.
See, that's annoying, too.
And you have to bring another key because you may be locked out of the building.
I mean,
there's a key to get back in the building.
I only hope I get locked out, and then we can't go on the air. And when people go, "Where's Sid?" Well, we've got keys all over the place here because God knows that of all places where people want to cause and wreak havoc, PBB is that you can't have enough security there. They want Jennifer Ross dead. Damn it!
They have the security wrapped up.
Let me just say this, too, on the way out of the first segment. We got so much to do today. Norm Coleman is stopping by, my first cousin. He was the mayor of St. Paul, Minnesota for 8 years, came in second ahead of Hubert Humphrey, but behind Jesse Ventura in the Minnesota gubernatorial. He also was a senator there for a long time before losing. He ran for a second time and lost to Al Franken. He's a very savvy Republican. Norm Coleman stopping by at 8. Mark Feinsand, Yankee baseball at 7:30. And actress Tara Reid, you remember her. Sharknado coming up in the 9 o'clock hour. But on Monday, I forgot about this when I was leaving town. I had 850 on, and I had Rich Stevens on, and he was talking about Donald Trump, how he tends to agree that John McCain is not a war hero, which is beyond stupid, and Stevens should know better, but that's fine. I mean, there's no bigger Donald Trump fan than me, no bigger fan than me. But the question as to whether or not John McCain is a war hero is moronic. It's stupid. But with that said, it's Stevens' show, and he can say what the hell he wants. So his board op is this guy, Elliot, his producer.
Right.
So Stevens is spewing his stuff, and Elliot keeps shutting off his microphone. Now, people thought it was great. I was getting text messages, you got to put this on, this is great radio. Joyce Kaufman, who was on with us that morning, started her show by going on and on. What great radio that was earlier in the day with Stevens and Elliott. First of all, it was good radio. It wasn't great. But second of all, he would have been fired that day if it was my board up. I swear to God, he would have been fired that day.
I don't even know how he hasn't even got a talking to.
It just goes to show you, if you're Rich Stevens, first of all, you got nothing in terms of juice. I hate to say that. But even you, and you and I have become dear friends, I mean family, really. If you ever pulled anything like that, I promise you, you'd be fired. You'd be fired.
I would expect to be.
And it wasn't even like once or twice. It would be like my
swan song. That would be my goodbye.
Yeah, exactly. Like F you. This went on for like 5 minutes. He must have shut up his mic 10 times. Now, I know a lot of people here don't like Rich, including Joyce. I get it. But it's still his show, and there's got to be a modicum of respect. And if that's my guy, I'm promising you, he's fired that day. He's fired. So I know he was getting a lot of celebration.
I couldn't believe that people were laughing. Other hosts and people
idiotic.
They were laughing, and I was like, I'm sitting there going, you wouldn't laugh if it was your show.
No, you wouldn't. If that was somebody that the Joyce, she would go effing berserk. Now, she's going to say it wouldn't happen to me. That's the difference between me and Rich, and she's right. And it wouldn't happen to me either. But at the end of the day, you can't do that. It was okay. In the beginning, it was kind of funny, but then as a host, I started getting aggravated for Rich.
Yeah, that's immediately.
Completely disrespectful. My God.
As a guy who runs the board, you just know certain things you don't do.
Completely disrespectful.
And that's something, and I told him, I said, everyone's laughing about this. I go, but I wouldn't make a habit of that.
No. No, I really wouldn't. So anyway, all that is, look how much is going on here today. Well, this is going to be a great show. 888-640-9385. As always, that's the number, 888-640-9385. We hope you enjoyed the last 2 days of Best of Sid, but we're back live today and tomorrow before we move to Palm Beach coming up on Monday. So come on back. Great guests, your phone calls, and lots to talk about. Back on a busy Thursday right after this.
Sid Rosenberg is on 640 Sports.
To presidential politics, Marco Rubio joins us live. The President of the United States was on last night for a full hour with Jon Stewart over at The Daily Show, and the topic turned to something near and dear to your heart, the lousy deal we've got with Iran. Well, the president says we actually got a good deal. Listen to this.
You know, when you hear the critics talk about, well, it's a bad deal, we could have got a better deal, you then ask them, well, what represents a better deal? Right. What is it that you think could happen? Typically, they're vague, and they fall back on, well, if you had beat your chest a little bit more. And
2011, if you had just done it in 2011,
or if you
they'd give you the country.
Or if you had brought Dick Cheney to the negotiations,
let's not get crazy.
That would have been a good
What is
idea.
your reaction to that?
Well, I mean, this is par for the course. Number one, that's just flat out untrue. And number two, it shows such little class. I mean, what is Dick Cheney? What does that have to do with anything that's going on? This is a serious issue involving a radical Shia cleric who runs Iran, who now will become a nuclear weapons power legally in 10 or 15 years if he wants, who retains all the enrichment capability, which is the hardest thing to do. But here's what's worse. We are now turning over around $100 billion worth of relief and sanctions. Where's that money going to be used? Not to build hospitals. It's going to be used, for example, to give Hezbollah more missiles so they can attack Israel, as an example, so they can build more IEDs to kill Americans, as another example. There's nothing funny about any of that.
He says that the people that don't agree with him want war. That's the only alternative.
Well, I think he's almost guaranteeing war, because what's happening now is there is no way that a nation like Israel, that feels its very existence could be threatened by Iran, because Iran says so, is going to sit by and allow these guys to build a weapon that can knock them out. The same is true for the Saudis, the Egyptians, the Turks. In essence, you are going to increase the chances of war, because under this deal, we are now obligated to help Iran protect itself against those who may seek to sabotage them. I mean, we could go on all morning about the problems.
How do you explain that Ambassador Crocker and Nick Burns, served mostly during the Bush years, endorsed this deal?
Well, I don't know why they endorsed the deal. You'll have to ask them. I haven't read that. But the bottom line is, I know what could have been possible. The sanctions were working. The reason why Iran is on the table is because their entire economy was on the verge of collapse.
The president said it's crippled. It was crippling sanctions.
Well, sanctions he fought against. I mean, let's remember that for a moment. The sanctions that today exist in Congress were sanctions that this president was against. He didn't want the additional sanctions. It's very simple. He wanted this deal worse than Iran did. And at the last minute, they were able to get all sorts of outrageous concessions, including that concession that I talked about earlier, which now says this: Iran, we have to help Iran protect itself against sabotage. If any other country tries to undermine their nuclear program, we have to help them defend themselves against Israel, Egypt, Saudis, our own allies.
Crossroads seem to come and go. Gypsy flies from coast to coast, knowing many, loving none, bearing sorrow, having fun. But back home you'll always run to sweet Melissa.
Marco Rubio. I liked him on that appearance on Fox and Friends. I got to say, I'm not a big Marco Rubio fan, but I liked him there. Called the president and Donald Trump classless. Took shots at the Iran. How about this moron, this John Kerry, comes out yesterday and says that he's very disturbed at the Ayatollah's comments, which were still at war with the United States. What did John Kerry and Barack Obama think as they were burning flags, American flags and Israeli flags, and screaming death to America, death to Israel? Literally, the day before we signed this awful deal. What did they think was the case? How come everybody else knew that except for them? We've been yelling about that for a while now. What is it? Well, thank God for this. And I saw this yesterday. Paragraph 36. Are you familiar with paragraph 36?
I am not.
You are not?
I am not.
Do you think paragraph 36 talks about A-Rod hitting his 20th home run of the year yesterday?
Probably not.
The likelihood of the football giants signing Eli Manning before training camp?
Possibly.
Whether the Knickerbockers are an improved team or somewhere around 17 wins once again?
No way.
Whether the Dolphins can improve on consecutive 8-8 seasons?
Maybe.
That's it. You've nailed it. Paragraph 36 in the Iran nuclear deal talks exactly about that. Now, what it says is that either side here, us or them, can get out, really at any time, 35 days notice. So it is conceivable that Iran gets $150 billion and these murderous thugs take the money and run. See ya. Thanks. Now, what we hope is this. There was a Republican president in 2017, sometime in January, and I know you liberals out there, you silly Sid, right? You keep saying that as Hillary is dusting off her new suit. We'll see. We'll see. Stranger things have happened than Hillary not winning. If, in fact, there's a Republican in 2017, nobody will stand for this. None of those guys will stand for this. This deal is as good as dead, and we could always say breach, that Iran has breached the contract. Either way, either side can get out. And you would hope that's going to be the case. I still think Congress is going to beat the living daylights out of it. I know the president talked about, well, I'll veto this and veto that, but this thing's a long way from getting done. It's a disaster. And, again, Obama bringing up Dick Cheney. It's like, come on, man. Bush and Cheney still 7 years now. It was kind of cute. Year 2, year 3, 7 years, Bush and Cheney. Still Barack Obama. This louse, this creep. On with Jon Stewart. The two of them yucking it up last night on Comedy Central. It wasn't funny. None of it was funny. But they yucked it up pretty good. You like Jon Stewart?
I don't mind Jon Stewart. He's all right. He's good.
I want to punch him in the face. I don't know why, but he's one of those guys.
Well, he's a little smug and...
A little?
Smarmy and that kind of thing.
A little?
Well,
no.
I don't watch the show all too often.
I like him more than Bill Maher, but...
Right.
I think they're both assholes, to be honest. Gabe, good morning, pal. How are you?
I'm doing great, Sid, and I'm just happy that you're back. And as I've said on Twitter, and I'll say it on the air, a rerun of the Sid Rosenberg show or a best of is still anything. It's still better than anything that's live during that time. It just is.
Thank you, buddy. I have seen those tweets, and I do love you for that. Thank you.
You're welcome, Sid. Now, Sid, I've called to ask you permission for something else now.
Uh-oh.
I asked you permission for if we could coin the phrase citizen, and now I'm calling you with something else now.
All right. Well, the citizen thing was a huge hit, and in fact, my good friend George Desiderio, who makes all of my Sid Rosenberg T-shirts, still available, mind you, at sidrosenberg.co. That is the official website of this program, sidrosenberg.co. The citizen shirts are in and will be available to buy as early as tomorrow. So that's very exciting stuff. Thanks to you, Gabe. Thank you.
Well, you're the inspiration, and plus the assholes that decided to call you City, they were an inspiration as well.
Well, that's Bob Raceman in the New York Daily News. He started that many years ago, 2003 to be exact. So the City thing is going on 12 years now, and with the news that will come out today or tomorrow, I would expect that Bob Raceman will be talking about City in the New York Daily News once again.
Of course. Now, Sid, this next question, and trust me, I know well enough to understand if you say no, because this could have legal implications.
All right. Been there before.
I have some of your shows in the past 2 years archived.
All right.
And I would like your permission to air some of the best of, not air, but to post on YouTube some of the best of the hours of these shows.
I can't stop you from doing that, so. I can't stop you. I don't believe I can. First of all, I love that. I love it. And I love you for, taking the time and the loyalty and dedication you show towards me and the program. So just on a personal note, I love you and I love that. I don't think we can stop anybody from doing that, right? I mean, there's a guy up in New York, Keith Smolin, and all he does is post I Miss and Francesa stuff every day, right? I mean, right? So we can't stop Gabe, right? Is that right?
No, I don't think so. Once it's out in the air,
that's it.
Public domain.
Yeah.
And before everyone starts tweeting Sid and starts sending him text messages, look, if all of a sudden these posts on YouTube all of a sudden get all these hits and they start sending me checks, I'm going to forward all the checks to Sid, and he can take them, he can wipe his ass with them, or he can donate them to his favorite charity, whatever he wants to do.
Nice.
Because it's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it to show everyone, this guy right here, when the light goes on, he's in front of that microphone, is the best, and you can't F with him. Have a great day.
I love you. God, I love that guy.
Gabe.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gay. I'm as heterosexual as it gets, married to just a perfect 10, but I give Gabe one blowjob. Just one, though.
One?
Yeah. I mean, hey, one's about one too many, don't you think?
Well, yes.
Talking about that, our very good friend Mario Salerno, one of the very, very many that listen every single day. He happens to be our favorite up in New Jersey, but we got a ton of people listening every single day on the free 640 application on your iPhone and TuneIn Radio. We got a ton of listeners, New York, New Jersey, as far west as Sacramento, California, even out in Brazil. On TuneIn Radio, Mario Salerno sent me this yesterday. Just finished your book, which you can still buy today at Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. The book is almost 6 years old. We're still selling it amazingly. You're Wrong and You're Ugly is the name of the book. You're Wrong and You're Ugly. He said, I just finished your book and love you more than I did before. He said, I knew a little bit about you before, but I know a lot more now. I love Danielle, too. I think without her support, you could have really went to the point of no return, and I'm grateful for her for being strong and supportive of you, and that you are still here, and I get a chance to listen to you each and every day. God bless. Hopefully I'll see you in New York in 2 weeks. That is a very nice text from Mario Salerno. Very, very nice, yes?
Yes, it's very nice.
You're not in there. There's nothing about you in there.
There is nothing?
No.
Well, that's too bad. It could have been nicer.
Yeah, if you would have said something about you, right?
Of course, yeah, well. But I'm not in the book. I'll be in the next one.
You will be in the next book. And I've already been approached about a second book.
Well, I can't wait.
The thing is, to get that second book deal done, I know it sounds not great for the folks down here as we get set to move to Palm Beach on Monday, which we're very excited about, and our new venture with PBB, which is not even really official yet, but will be soon, hopefully. It would require a New York gig as well. Because South Florida gigs don't get you books. I mean, how many guys down here, Hank Goldberg, Joe Rose, Jim Mandich, God rest his soul, all the guys that have been on the air down here forever, outside of Neil, they can never write a book because nobody cares. Nobody. You have to be on in New York and have a decent-sized audience and have some stability, although maybe I'm the antithesis of that, but I guess my stay, only 5 years, was so controversial and made news all the time that it did demand a book. But it's got to be there, not here. And if you've got both, then you're really in good shape. So that's kind of the rub. Does that make sense?
Yes. That is the rub.
That's the rub. So that's the only issue with getting that second book really going. But, of course, you would have a major, maybe even a chapter to yourself in the second book.
Well, we need to get to New York somehow.
Yeah. I'm going next Sunday. You want to come?
I would love to.
I know you would. Your girlfriend, your wife. What is she at this point exactly?
She's still my fiancé.
Fiancé, right. Until you go to that wretched Disney to get married. God, that's a horrible place. And I'm just going to say this, okay, without being specific or talk about the last time I was there. There are a lot of Muslims in Disney. I mean, the whole guard.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened either, but there's a lot of ladies, and all you can see are their eyes.
Right, and you know that Disney has a sturdy, no mask policy. You're not allowed to wear costumes or masks. Is that true? Yes. And because it's...
Well, that may be different, though, because that's a religious...
Well, that's what they use.
Yeah.
So now you can't stop anyone from coming in fully, you know...
And listen, I'm not a racist. I hate to be discriminatory. I don't practice prejudice or bias, but I will tell you this. When I see that on an airplane, I get off. And when I see it at Disney, it turns me off. So it just is what it is. I'm sorry. It's just... And I know that 99% of Muslim people are great people, good people, blah, 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 blah. That 1% has ruined it for me. It just has. I'm being an honest American here. I wouldn't hurt anybody, ever, but that 1% has ruined it for me.
Yeah, well, it definitely is a head turner.
No, it's ruined. No, just admit it's ruined it for you too. Just be honest.
Well, it will keep you on your toes.
yeah. That's being nice. To say the very least, it'll keep you on your toes. 888-640-9385. Mark Feinsand talking Yankee baseball. My cousin, the great senator from the state of Minnesota, Norm Coleman, coming on at 8. And we'll talk to the very famous actress Tara Reid. She's in Sharknado 3. She'll be in the 9 o'clock hour. 888-640-9385. We're back on a busy Thursday right after this.
640's own Sid Rosenberg Show is on the air.
640 Sports.
As sensitive as I am and as sympathetic as I am to the wonderful people of Boston, the Knicks can't beat the Celtics by enough once we start the play. You know what I mean?
That's the way it goes, brother. I mean, we're all New Yorkers and all Americans are with Boston, but when it comes to the playoffs, you got to pick your side and stand by it. But Sid, I'm glad you do your show the way you do because Neil Rogers for so many years, filled that need in this marketplace, and with Neil long gone, having passed away, you're really a valuable piece of the puzzle for South Florida media, and it's nice to have a show like that in the market.
Thank you.
Hi, honey, it's me. I went to see the doctor today, 'cause ever since you've been gone, I had a pain deep down inside. He says there's nothing really wrong with me. I'm just missing my man. So, honey, please, come on home as soon as you can. Doctor's orders say there's only one thing for me, nothing he can do, 'cause only you can cure me. Says in my condition, love's the best physician. He's prescribed a potion full of warm emotion every day.
That's the voice of your Miami Heat, Eric Reid. Eric Reid, not the guy that's on 790. There's a guy in 790, I guess. The ticket, he's on before Le Batard, I think. His name is Eric Reid, too. I've met him a couple of times. Seems like a nice kid. Very limited talent, if at all, any. But that's the voice of the Heat. He's got a lot of talent alongside Tony Fiorentino. Eric Reid loves us. Says, I'm the closest thing to Neil Rogers we've had in this market since. And that's about as high a compliment you can pay somebody, right? I mean, basically.
Absolutely.
You sound like Sylvester Stallone on the Howard Stern show.
No.
When he says absolutely.
I don't know. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we have Norm Coleman coming on. We've got Mark Feinsand coming on. We've got Tara Reid coming on. Chuck Todd tomorrow. And it looks like this girl, Tommy Lahren, who has just absolutely arrived on the scene after her video went viral a couple of days ago when she killed Barack Obama and this administration and basically the country after the shootings in Chattanooga, Tennessee. This cute 22-year-old blonde chick who's banging some Marine in San Diego. She was on O'Reilly 2 nights ago. She was already had Lindsey Graham and Mike Huckabee and Marco Rubio and all these guys on this show. So when some dopey broad up at Palm Beach Broadcasting, some dingbat sales chick says she was expecting to hear all sports the next morning, your next comment should have been blow me. But you're such a wuss that you wouldn't say that.
No, of course not.
What am I going to do when I see her? What am I going to do?
Oh.
What am I going to do?
Well, you said you're going to make her cry.
I'm going to make her cry.
Well, that I don't,
No, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Change your mind by then.
And by the way, much like Tommy Lahren is all over Obama and the administration for what's going on, this girl, and she's a moron, but part of the problem is it's not all of her fault. It's because no one has explained to her this gold, this treasure they've got every single morning, which is not your run-of-the-mill Mike and Mike sports show. If she wants to hear a breakdown of SEC football, don't come here. But she doesn't know any better because A, she's a dope, and B, nobody up there tells her anything. So it would be nice if, in fact, she's a sales girl. That is very dangerous, that somebody in sales has no idea what the hell we do here every single day.
Well, that is true. I mean, I popped on 560 on Friday, and they were live from the Big 12.
Dallas.
The Big 12, I don't know, media day or something.
What are they doing? What is CBS doing? What are they doing? They've cut it down to 3 shows. They got rid of Cooperstein and Crowder. That was an awful show anyway. So now they've got Rose and an extra hour of Alzagari and Hockman and Krantz. I mean, what are you doing? And live from the Big 12, what?
I assume it was media day or something out in Dallas.
Jesus Christ!
It was. They were having just the most unknown people on talking about Big 12 football.
Is that what this girl wants up in PBB? That's what she's yearning for. She's got to be horrible looking too. I can't imagine she's a good looking chick.
I didn't say that.
Gotta be. Well, what good looking chick doesn't want to hear about Donald Trump? Well, Blake Shelton and Miranda Lambert wants to hear like a breakdown of the LSU defense. Besides Emily, of course, who's sitting outside right now like, can't wait for college football. Can't wait. Oh, the Crimson Tide, baby.
Well, she's more interested in the party surrounding it and the student life.
She loves her football. She goes to the school. I understand that, but, I mean, come on. So there's going to be a meeting when I get there on Monday at some point.
There is?
I guess. I need to explain to folks up there what they've got here, what they should be selling, how they should be selling it. And if they can't get it done, then I'm going to have Elizabeth fire them.
We'll see. This is all the fun that awaits.
Just like I would have fired Elliott last week. And I like Elliott. Don't get me wrong. I like him a lot. And he's going to hate me for this. But if he was my board up, he would have been fired that day. I don't want to hear Joyce said it was great radio. And I don't care what anybody. He would have been fired trust me, he would have been fired that day.
I would imagine he couldn't expect anything less. I don't.
Well, Rich Stevens, I guess, is, I mean, if I'm rich, maybe Rich, listen, if I'm rich, I tell everybody I planned it that way. Because or else it looks like he's got no balls. Because it turned out to be pretty entertaining and good radio. And if I'm rich, I go, yeah, listen, I run my show. I'm the king of my court, but I planned it that way. Because if that's not the case, and that guy really did take the liberty to cut off his mic, not once, not twice, 5 times, that guy's fired. I don't care if it's. I don't care if Joyce thinks it's the best radio ever. If they win a Marconi, that guy's fired.
I mean, I'm shocked. I know Joyce, and nobody evidently has any respect for Rich, but I mean, yes, as a host, you've got to defend the host on that one.
100%.
I mean, I'm not even a host, and I know better than that. And I was here until about noon on I guess it was Monday.
It was Monday.
Yeah, Monday. I was here till about noon putting together the best of.
Yeah.
And I was here when it happened. Rich comes running into Brennan. And now Brennan evidently is, I don't know, the program director or somebody.
Well, he kind of is at this point. And he should be because he's a talented, smart kid. He knows radio.
Right. So Rich comes running in. Elliott's turning off my mic. If he does it again, I'm walking out of here. Brennan has to go handle it. So picture Brennan going to handle it. And that's the first that I had heard of it. So I was here like when it happened. And
what a mess.
The S was hitting the fan everywhere.
Yeah. It wasn't great radio. It was actually very disrespectful. And the first couple of minutes was okay. And then as a host, I was cringing. I was like, this is not good. Stop. Stop.
I can imagine.
Donald Trump is threatening a third-party run here. He's not really a Democrat, Donald Trump. He's not really a Republican. And instead of dealing with the rest of these Republican guys, now 16 in all, with John Kasich jumping in at the Ohio State University a couple of days ago, he is now saying that he may run for, it may be a third party.
He's going to disband the Republican
His own party. Yeah, get his own party going.
Yeah, they're running the line here. He says his RNC has been not supportive.
They've been anything but supportive. Let me hear this. Here's the breaking news. Donald Trump threatening a third-party run.
Margaret, I talked to this panel of Trump supporters yesterday about what they like about him so much. And it's possible that he doesn't need a policy to hang his hat on. What they say that he represents and what they believe he's running on is making America great again. They believe that he personifies the American success story and that he talks about wanting to make this country #1 again, and that they're responding to.
I think I hear that a lot, and I think in the context of the Republican primary, that'll get you some juice early on. But if you're really going to mobilize a massive group of millions of people for a national election as a third-party candidate, I think you're asking for a different set of support and a different kind of support. You need more seriousness. You need real policies. You need something other than just bomb throwing.
But let's get real, because he's leading the polls right now. So let's do him the service of not just calling him a clown and take him seriously for a second.
No. You have to take him seriously when he's leading the polls.
But let's do some real talk for a second.
No, we don't want to hear real talk. I guess he may run as an independent candidate, which, by the way, I would have advised him to do. Not that Donald Trump listens to me or even talks to me. In fact, he despises me. But I would have advised Donald Trump to go independent when he started this thing. So he doesn't have to deal with Lindsey Graham and Marco Rubio and any of these people. Just have your own party. Do what the hell you want.
If he runs independent, Hillary automatically wins. Done deal, signed, delivered. It's done. Or if it's Bernie Sanders, that's my opinion. Because it's going to split the Republican Party. People that
He's doing it anyway. Well,
what's the difference? But he was on Savage 3 weeks ago and said, "I will not run as an independent."
Who cares what he says?
I will run as a Republican.
Nick Saban also said that he's not going to coach Alabama. Things change. He's allowed to change his mind, but it doesn't change whether he stays with the GOP or does not. It doesn't change the fact that he is splitting the GOP anyway.
Yeah,
doesn't change it.
But if he wins the GOP, the GOP
primary,
if he wins the primary and he will represent the Republican Party. He's going to get the Republican votes. Now, if he goes independent, it's going to split down the middle. So say the Republican gets 60% of the vote. He'll get 30 and he'll get 30 as independent, and Jeb Bush will get 30 and Hillary will take it and win.
Right.
So that's a problem in my mind. I believe if he goes independent, it's an issue. And I don't want to see Hillary or Bernie.
You seem upset again.
Well, I was cutting sound and then I heard you say,
this,
"Hey, let's clear," and I'm like, "Whoa." It's one thing to talk about it, but
according to Rick Perry from Texas, who Joyce loves, I'm sick of hearing that too. I love Joyce, but Rick Perry's a dick, and he's awful, and he has no chance, and he shouldn't have a chance. Rick Perry, Trump is cancer on conservatism. He is ruining the GOP. How could you ruin the GOP? It's already ruined. If anything, Donald Trump is reviving that dead old party. It should be the DOP, dead on arrival.
I agree with that.
How could you ruin something that's already dead? Oh, no, leave it to Rick Perry. He's going to save him.
Trump's about to bring me over to the Republican Party.
Damn right. Oh, you're a you. Forget about it.
This guy was on the corner with Obama signs.
Tell me about it.
A couple years ago.
Never.
Please.
What do you mean?
You are the worst.
I was never an Obama fan.
You what?
He's got posters in his room of John Kerry. Like I had Farrah Fawcett, he's got John Kerry. 888-640-9385. Mark Feinsand, Tara Reid, Norm Coleman, and a host of others. Back with the 7 o'clock hour. Right.